Hello everybody, it's Tim here for another one of our weekly teacher chats. Got some hair in my face. Hope you're well. We missed last week because, what was it? Oh, it was the Memorial Day holiday in America. So I thought we'll jump back on and get back into the swing of these weekly chats. Let me know if you're here and can hear me. If you are over on Facebook, I will put a link. No, that's okay. I can't easily put a link in the Facebook group. Oh, I can see MJ's here, so that's working over on Facebook. That's great. Good to see you, MJ. And today what I thought about what I thought I would talk about was left-hand patterns and styles. And we actually have this fantastic free handout all about left-hand patterns and styles. And the reason I thought this was good is because the last few sessions we were talking about chords, slash chords, chord shapes and lead sheets, and I thought, well, one of the great fun things that you can do with lead sheets and chord playing, once students have a bit of an understanding about it, is to actually muck around with left-hand patterns and styles. And as we all know, it's the left-hand patterns and styles that really can change the feel of a piece completely. And so what the left-hand patterns and styles sheet does, and if you haven't got this, I'll put a link in the comments right now. Just go to topmusic.co/patterns and you can download this. I'll put that in the chat here. Not sure if it'll come up in Facebook, but should come up over on YouTube where we're also broadcasting. Topmusic.co/patterns, and this just gives you the key sort of patterns that I like exploring with students and that I think students should know and can gain a lot from knowing about. So let's go through just a couple of them, and then I thought we'll find a lead sheet from the 10 Classical Themes for Buskers book. This was one of the ones that I shared a few weeks ago. And muck around and see the kind of things that you can do with left-hand patterns. So let me know if you've got any questions. We'd love to hear them in the chat. And do say hi when you join us. So the first left-hand pattern, I actually just have block chords, but that's almost not really a pattern. I mean, it's a great way to learn about chord patterns and chord playing, but not really a pattern. The first real pattern is the one that we all learn when we start learning classical music, and that's the Alberti bass, this one here. Sometimes done like this, but most commonly, and pretty much students can very quickly realize that as soon as you put that left-hand pattern with pretty much any tune, it's going to sound like a classical theme. It's going to sound like Mozart. So if you want something to sound like Mozart, add an Alberti bass. And you can easily just improvise with students or encourage them to do that. If I just play just in C and explore some, moving up to D minor chord, I'm just on the white notes. I'm just all stepwise motion. I'm not doing any leaps. I'm just playing around the key of C major while I'm using that Alberti bass. And you have a little bit of a composition. I mean, it's not that exciting, but it's a composition. And you could teach them about using inversions as well. So that's one of the key left-hand patterns, the Alberti bass. The next one that I've got is moving to more popular styles, and that's the root 5 octave, what I call the pop pattern, which is this one here. And if you ever want a student to be able to move from just simple chords or octaves to something that's a little bit more interesting, root 5 octaves is a great pattern for that. And there are variations too. One of the best variations of the root 5 octave pattern is this one. Where your thumb just walks up. And I mean, I'm just having fun playing around with these. So you can imagine if you were to introduce a new pattern for an intermediate student each, I don't know, every couple of weeks, and have them just do a little bit of improvising, or as I'm about to show you, give them a lead sheet that they can explore these patterns with, it can be so rewarding and so much fun. Because it just sounds so musical when you start doing this kind of thing. So that's a second one. Now what I want to show you, and there's some more variations of that one in the sheet, what I wanted to show you was also some of the more kind of jazzy ones. We've got, so in the document, it's about 7 or 8 pages. We've got variations of arpeggios, we've got a little bit of ragtime stride, we've got a walking bass. Now walking basses, they're quite tricky for students to do, so I wouldn't be jumping to that one. I've got some syncopated pattern and then some Latin patterns. And I wanted to just show you one of the Latin patterns, which is the tango, because the tango is super fun to play and immediately changes the style of something. So we've gone from this to the pop one, to a Latin-y tango one. And look, I'm just playing 1, 4, 5, 1 in my left hand, the chord pattern, C, G, F, G, C. And then we could try something like, I've got some rock ones. And here I've also got, I'm thinking of the boogie and the blues. So again, to change the style, once again, to something completely different, we can use this kind of a pattern. Or, and of course, if I use a bit of a blues scale on the right hand to improvise, that will link in and sound a lot better. So there's some comments coming up. So what have we got here? Yes, such a rewarding way to play and explore music. Yes, building a toolbox of patterns. Tango's a great idea. Thank you to Motive Music Studios for that comment. And MJ says, I'd love to see what you would do with Sign of the Times. The original sounds like straight out of root chords. How would you perform this for a class assessment to keep the class teacher happy? Ooh, that's interesting. Sign of the Times, I don't know off the top of my head. So MJ, what I'll do is prepare that for next week if you'd like. Some thoughts on that. And I'm really happy to take requests, not requests, sounds like I'm going to be performing for you. Requests of things that you'd like me to go through or questions that you'd like answered. Would love to help with that. All right, so what I'd like to do now is actually show you the kinds of things that you can do with these left-hand patterns by looking at a lead sheet from this book, which I shared with you a couple of weeks ago. So this is the 101 Classical Hits for Buskers. It's on the overhead screen there. And I thought I'd choose Trumpet Voluntary, just for something that we all probably know. And well, I definitely loved this when I was a kid. So if we play it in its original form with the first pattern in the style guide, that's root position chords in the left hands, we would have something like this. We've literally got tonic and dominant 7th and tonic. So, what should we do? Which pattern? Put it in the comments. Which pattern would you like me to try first? I can hear comments coming through, but that was probably too quick. Yes, please, Sign of the Time, Harry Styles for next week. Okay, I can't, have I done that as a pop song solution yet, MJ? I'm not sure. Sign, I'm just writing it down, of the Times, Harry Styles. All right. I will look at that. The original sounds straight out of root chords. How would you perform this for a class assessment to keep the class teacher happy? So I'm assuming, MJ, one of your students has been asked to perform this for class and you're like, well, how can I make this interesting? And more than happy to help you with that. So we'll line that up for one of the things I can chat about next week. No problem. Okay, have we got any requests? All right, I'm going to try with Alberti first. Let's do that. So this should make it sound like a Mozart kind of piece. Nice. And because this is a Baroque piece anyway, it doesn't sound too out of context. So what if we turn this into more of a pop arrangement? We'll use the root 5 octaves pattern, maybe even moving up. Interesting, kind of works, but I think we might try some blues. So what if we try this? Here we go, Trumpet Voluntary, blues style. Maybe with a variation. The variation, I think, with the flattened 7th probably doesn't quite work with this one because the melody is very much not bluesy with flattened 7ths. But anyway, that was kind of fun, and we could try tango, I guess, right? You get the idea anyway. Look, they are just a few of the patterns that are in this sheet. They're probably my most favorite ones for students to know about. Now that left hand tango, that's a bit of an awkward rhythm. That's not an easy one for students to jump into and try out straight away. So you might like to try the blues one perhaps first. I've actually got quite a few. There's a few boogie and blues left hand patterns here. There's this one as well. I loved, there was a tune that I learned, oh, can I remember how it went? Can't believe I can remember this. It was called Freight Train Boogie. I still remember it from when I was a kid, and I used to love that left-hand pattern. So that would be another one that you could try. Or this one. I wonder if I can try it with this. It's a bit hard because it changes straight away to the D chord. Oh, that would even take me a bit of practice to get that one. So maybe don't jump to that one too soon. But what I think this gives students is an appreciation of just how important the left hand is to the style and groove of a piece of music. I mean, the left hand gives beat, meter, pulse, bass, style, groove. I mean, it's super critical. But the fun thing is that you can really explore it and have fun with it if you have the interest in doing that. And I think it's activities like this, as you've heard me say over and over again, that really provides meaning and novel, creative activities really helps provide meaning for students in what they're learning. It helps them make better connections and learn things better, more deeply. This is research backed. And as part of our integrated music teaching approach, we're like taking these creative things, making a creative activity that's meaningful and novel and that students remember, because that will help them make the connections that they need to in their learning. So, you know, changing a Baroque piece into something classical or a boogie is going to be something that's memorable and meaningful for them. They're going to remember what that was, and that knowledge will be there for them in the future as well. So let's see, purpose, nice, here we go. Try tango for the voluntary, yes, done. So if you did want that sheet, it's at topmusic.co/patterns, and you can go and grab that whenever you would like. If you haven't already got that, that's my guide, ultimate guide to left-hand patterns and styles. Here it is here. It's just a super reference that you can have on your piano at any stage. That's the one there. And it's got, look, I don't know exactly how many it's got. But it goes in, yeah, boogie and blues and shuffle and you name it, we've got it. And fun to use. And the other thing that you can do with these kinds of patterns and styles is, and this is useful if you're, I know most of the people watching this will probably be pianists, but if you're a non-piano teacher, you can also explore patterns and styles using software like iReal Pro that just has a whole lot of patterns and styles in it that, I'll just get rid of the keyboard here, that students can play along with. So you don't have to have the left hand playing the pattern. You could have an app playing it for you, so you get the style of the tango or reggae. Reggae is a fun one, so it's a bit tricky. I mean, there's lots of different styles, shuffle and swing and all those kinds of things. iReal Pro, an app like that, can actually demonstrate those. And if the student perhaps isn't ready to try one of those left-hand patterns, but you would like to explore it with them, then using an app like that, you can actually put the beat and the backing on, and they can play along and get the feel of the style, even though they may not be actually playing it in their left hand yet. And that works really well for other instruments as well. Teachers of violin and instruments that don't have left hand bass patterns played by a left hand. You know what I mean? Fantastic. All right, well, let me know if you've got any questions. I think MJ's put in a request to have a look at Harry Styles next week, so I'm happy to do that. We'll pull out a little bit about how it works, how to teach it, and how you could use that. And what I'll do is I'll make it as relevant to teachers of all songs and all songs, I guess, as I possibly can too. So it won't necessarily just be about that song, but the way that I go about putting these kinds of arrangements together and helping students learn pop music will be relatable to you teaching any type of pop song, because there's some really key skills that I've learned over time that students need to know, but I've also learned there are some really key things as a teacher you should never do when you're approaching pop music in the studio. And so I can go through some of those with you all next week. MJ's got another suggestion. What have you got here? Can you run through how you would teach students to play to accompany themselves rather than playing solo? How would you arrange the chords? Do you avoid having the melody as the top notes in the right hand? Yeah. That's a really great one, because I'm a big believer in helping students accompany themselves or other singers. I think it's a critical skill for any pianist to have. So I think that's a great one. Teaching students to accompany themselves. Thanks, Mary. Appreciate that. Short answer, yeah, don't play the melody. And that's one of the big bonuses of accompanying. If a student wants to play a pop song and they can sing it, or they want to sing it, or you can encourage them to sing it, they don't have to play the melody, because the melody was never designed to be played, which is why it's really hard to play. So take that out and you're playing chords, it's much simpler. So I think that's a really good one. Good, we've got some support from some other Facebook users, so that is very cool. By the way, thanks to all of you who joined the challenge and were involved in the pop song play by ear challenge. Mary in particular, it was so cool, Mary. Thank you for sharing the videos of your student playing some of those songs. I really enjoyed it. I think I saw Finn, didn't I? Who I've done some masterclass work with. So if you're watching this and you're in our piano teachers with beginner and intermediate students group, then go and have a look at some of the videos that Mary has posted in the group. They are really, really fun to watch, and just great to see other teachers, what they can do with students when it comes to some of these pop and playing by ear aspects of our teaching. All right, I think I'll leave it there. Thank you for joining me, and this will be stored as a replay, so you can always come back. And if you are watching this as a replay and you have questions, still leave a comment. I do read through all the comments and they still come to me in my notifications, so I'll be able to check up and answer any questions. And of course, if you have any other suggestions for lives or topics for these, things that you'd like my help with, please let me know. You can also leave a comment about that, and I'll be happy to try and add that to my list. Yes, it was Finn. Thank you, Mary. And thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for asking the parents that we could do that in the group. That was fantastic. All right, everyone, have a great day. It's morning time here in Melbourne. It may not be where you are, so wherever you are, have a great day or night ahead. And I will see you same time next week. Look forward to having you tune in and helping you out again. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.